Welcome to Whisper and Learn channel. In today's video, we'll dive into another engaging story to help you improve your English listening skills while enjoying a relaxing and stress-free experience. Each story is crafted to teach practical vocabulary, enhance your comprehension, and provide meaningful life lessons. So grab your headphones, relax, and let's begin.
Aiko Tanaka had always been different. From a young age, she wasn't interested in the same things as her classmates. While other children spent their afternoons playing in the park, Aiko could often be found in her small bedroom in Osaka, dismantling electronic gadgets or sketching blueprints of ideas that existed only in her imagination. At 16, she wasn't just another high school student. She was a dreamer, a builder, and soon to be an innovator. Her love for technology started when she was 8 years old. One evening, her father, a factory worker, came home with an old broken radio. Instead of throwing it away, he handed it to Aiko, a knowing smile on his face. "If you can fix this, you can keep it," he said. It was the first time she had ever taken something apart. And from that moment on, she was hooked. By the time she was 12, Aiko had built her own working alarm clock from spare parts, programmed a simple AI chatbot on an old computer, and won a school science fair with a project that used solar energy to power a small fan. But despite her growing skills, not everyone supported her ambitions. Japan, though known for its technological advancements, still had deeply rooted cultural expectations, particularly for women. From a young age, girls were subtly encouraged to pursue stable, traditional careers, teaching, nursing, or office work, rather than the male-dominated fields of engineering and technology. Women in corporate leadership roles were rare, and those who pursued ambitious careers often faced societal pressure to conform. "Technology is not for girls," one of her classmates scoffed when she excitedly talked about her latest project. The boys in her class were often encouraged to join robotics clubs and math competitions. But for Aiko, there was an unspoken barrier. Even at home, though her parents were supportive, her mother worried about the future. "You need to focus on your studies," her mother urged one evening, watching Aiko tinker with circuit boards instead of doing homework. "A stable job at a good company is what you need. You should prepare for university entrance exams instead of spending all your time on these machines." Aiko loved her mother dearly, but those words stung. Her mother wasn't being cruel. She was being practical. Japanese society often prioritized stability over passion, and success stories of young women thriving in technology were few and far between. But Aiko couldn't let go of her passion. She dreamed of creating technology that could improve people's lives. She just didn't know how to make that dream a reality. By the time she was 16, Aiko had developed a prototype for a small wearable device designed to help people with hearing impairments. Inspired by her grandfather, who had lost much of his hearing with age, she created a device that used AI to transcribe conversations in real time and display them on a small screen. It was her proudest achievement yet. Encouraged by her physics teacher, she applied for a prestigious national competition for young inventors. Winning could mean recognition, funding, and perhaps even a future in the world of technology. She spent weeks perfecting her presentation, testing the device, and rehearsing her speech. But when the competition results were announced, her name wasn't on the list. Aiko was devastated. "I guess I was never good enough," she whispered to herself, closing her laptop in frustration. It wasn't just the loss, it was the fear that maybe her critics were right. Maybe she was wasting her time. Maybe she should give up. The rejection felt like a public confirmation of everything she had feared. Her classmates barely noticed her disappointment, and even her mother, though sympathetic, suggested that it might be time to focus on university entrance exams instead. For weeks, she barely touched her projects. Her blueprints gathered dust, and her laptop sat unused. The once burning passion that had driven her to spend hours tinkering with circuits was reduced to a faint ember. Her father, noticing her change in demeanor, grew worried. He had always been her silent supporter, the one who brought her scrap parts from work and admired her relentless curiosity. One evening after dinner, he placed a hand on her shoulder. "Aiko," he said gently, "failure isn't the end. It's part of learning. If you truly love what you do, you'll find a way." But Aiko only nodded, unable to shake the doubt that had settled in her mind. It wasn't until her father decided to take her to visit an old friend, Professor Nakamura, a retired engineer who had once worked for a leading robotics company, that she began to see things differently. Professor Nakamura's small home was filled with books, circuit boards, and unfinished projects. The moment Aiko stepped inside, she felt a flicker of excitement. Memories of why she had fallen in love with technology in the first place. "I heard you're thinking of giving up," the professor said, handing her a cup of tea. Aiko hesitated before nodding. "Then let me tell you something," he continued. "Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a step towards it. Every great inventor you admire, whether it's Thomas Edison or Japan's own Sony founder, Akio Morita, failed many times before they succeeded. The key is to learn from your mistakes and keep going." Aiko listened intently. "What did the competition judges say?" Nakamura asked. Aiko retrieved her rejection email, and together they examined the feedback. It wasn't that her invention wasn't good. It was that it needed refinement. The display wasn't fast enough, and the battery life was too short. But these are fixable problems, Nakamura said with a smile. You don't need a competition to tell you that you're talented. You just need to improve. It was exactly what Aiko needed to hear. That night, she dusted off her notes and got back to work. Determined to improve her device, Aiko spent months refining it. She redesigned the display to make it more responsive, optimized the AI software to process speech more accurately, and developed a smaller, more efficient battery. But the real breakthrough came when she discovered an innovative way to link the device to a smartphone app, allowing users to save and review past conversations. By the time she was satisfied with the final version, she had developed something far superior to her original prototype. Now the question was, what next? Remembering Professor Nakamura's words, Aiko decided not to wait for another competition. Instead, she reached out to a local tech startup incubator, a place where young innovators could showcase their ideas. Nervously, she prepared a pitch and presented her device to a panel of investors and entrepreneurs. To her surprise, they were impressed. "This has real potential," one investor said. "Have you thought about patenting it?" Over the next few months, Aiko worked closely with mentors, refining her business plan and learning about the legal side of product development. She registered a patent for her device, partnered with a small manufacturing company, and even launched a crowdfunding campaign to raise initial funding. Within a year, her device, now named Echo Vision, was being sold across Japan. The demand was overwhelming. Hospitals, senior care facilities, and individuals with hearing impairments praised the product's effectiveness. Aiko, now just 17, had not only created a groundbreaking device, but had also turned it into a thriving business. With success came new challenges: managing a company, improving customer support, and ensuring the quality of each device. But through it all, Aiko never lost sight of why she had started. She wasn't just building a product, she was changing lives. One day, a letter arrived in the mail. It was from a young girl named Yuki who had lost her hearing after an illness. "Because of Echo Vision," she wrote, "I can follow along in class again. Thank you for making this." As Aiko read the letter, tears welled in her eyes. This was why she had fought so hard. This was why she had never given up. At just 18, Aiko had done what many thought impossible. She had turned her passion into fortune, not just financially, but in a way that truly mattered. And she knew this was just the beginning. With renewed determination, Aiko made significant improvements to her prototype, refining the AI for faster speech recognition and extending battery life. She began documenting her work in a blog, sharing her progress with the world. To her surprise, an article about her invention went viral on social media, catching the attention of a professor at the University of Tokyo, Japan's most prestigious university. Impressed by her ingenuity, the university offered her a scholarship to study computer engineering. It was a dream she had barely dared to consider, but with her father's encouragement, she accepted. University life was a new challenge. Her classes were rigorous, and she was often one of the few women in her engineering courses. Despite this, she thrived. She joined the university's robotics club, collaborated with professors on AI research, and even secured an internship with a leading tech company in Tokyo. Balancing school and her growing ambitions was exhausting, but she remained relentless. During her second year, she entered another innovation competition. Not for validation, but because she knew her work had the potential to help people. This time, she won first place. The recognition brought investment offers, and by the time she graduated, she had already launched her own startup, focusing on assistive technology for people with disabilities. Years later, Aiko would go on to create more devices, start more companies, and inspire countless young minds across Japan and beyond. She became a voice for young women in STEM, proving that passion, resilience, and the courage to keep going despite failures were the keys to success. Looking back, she often thought about that broken radio her father had given her. It was never just about fixing things. It was about building a future where innovation could help those who needed it most. Her journey had started in a small bedroom in Osaka, surrounded by scattered wires and half-finished projects. But with perseverance, belief, and an unwillingness to accept defeat, she had transformed not only her life, but the lives of countless others. And it all began with passion.
Thank you for listening to this story on Whisper and Learn channel. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something valuable today. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that make learning English fun and effective. Let us know in the comments what you think of this story or what topics you'd like to hear next. See you in the next video. Happy learning!